Hey guys, this is what we all been waiting for. I mean, look, it's just so smooth. Anyway, I can do this all day, so let's get to find out more about it. So guys, it's been a while waiting. I know you've been patient waiting for this Osmo review, and it's here. I have finally had time to put it together. It's been really busy over the festive season. So here we go. You might have seen the little posts that I put about purchasing it from Apple, as they do sell this device here, one of the two that they actually sell. So let's get through to actually having a quick look at the actual handset itself, what buttons do, and all of that beautiful stuff. So guys, before we do go ahead and see all the features and buttons, I wanted to show you quickly how to mount the phone. On this case, we're going to use an iPhone 6s Plus in the nice bright red case. I know it's a bit leery. I'm not going to apologize for that. I like it. So expand this all the way to the max. As you can see, this will be on the maximum. You can't go any further. It will be tight. If you have a leather case, it'll be even tighter, but it does fit. Push it all the way through. Bear in mind there is a sensor here. If you don't cover that sensor, the gimbal won't turn on. So push it all the way through. Give it a little fasten to the right, clockwise to fasten the case. You need to balance the gimbal, and obviously this isn't balanced. So at the back on one of the axes, you have an additional adjustment. Apologies. Loosen that up. Push it all the way out. Tighten it up again. And what I have found is that with the iPhone 6s Plus, it just about balances. It will make that rear motor work a little bit more, but it just about balances. And once you've done this, it's as simple as turn it on, and then gimbal will come on. You will, however, need to adjust, to do a few more things on the actual app itself before you are ready to go and record. The actual build of it, guys, is really, really good. It's made out of special materials, which I don't know how to pronounce them or how they're called, but you can check that out on the description or indeed on DJI's website. But I wanted to cover quickly what buttons you have available on the actual grip. You have the shutter button, which is this big one here, so you can take photographs. Bear in mind that if you are in the video mode and you press that, it will automatically switch mode and take a photograph, but it won't switch back, so you'll need to switch it back again, which you can do by automatically pressing the start and stop record button for video, which is with the red dot there. So I personally would have preferred it if they were the other way around, because it makes more sense. I don't think I'm going to be using this for taking pictures as much as I would be using it for actual recording. Then you have the analog stick, which allows you to do pans, and have a look at this pan that I'm doing now. This was done earlier today and it's beautiful, as you can see, nice and smooth. The speed of it you can control. You can go nice and slow, or you can go really fast, and within the app itself you can change what mode you have the gimbal at into sport mode, which makes it move even quicker. If you go onto the right of the actual gimbal itself, you're presented with the power button. Press and hold to turn it on, press and hold to turn it off. If we continue going right, you are now presented with a couple of things. The trigger button. This allows you to press it twice to reset the handset's angle, so it goes back to normal, regardless of where the actual grip is. If I show you right now, it's reset it itself. So, and if you press it 3 times, it actually switches it onto the selfie camera. I'm not going to do that right now because I'm sure you guys don't want to see my ugly mug. And then we have a nice port here, which Apple kindly managed to remove from their iPhone, but DJI feels like we should have it. But big warning here, guys, there's not a headphone jack, which is one of my biggest problems with this, which we will touch a little bit later. But this is actually a charging port. That's not a mic, so don't worry about that. And then on the right or left of the handset, which depending on whichever way you're looking at it, this is where you mount the tripods and all the accessories that DJI has for it. So that kind of runs up all of this. At the bottom here we have where the battery would go, and the battery life here is around the 4-hour mark, give or take. So DJI is bang on that. You can get a bigger one if you want to, but I have found that for most recording, it's on par with what your phone is going to do. So let's have a quick look now at the actual app itself, very quickly, what you can and can't do. Sorry guys, you can't really see very well, but I just wanted to quickly show you what options you have here. You can manually change at the top here between photo and video mode. Depending on what you are, so we're on photo now, this will give you a whole bunch of options: single, pano, long exposure, and so on and so forth, including the ability to switch on HDR. If we go into video mode, so if the camera will actually focus, you can see here, if you can't, sorry guys, apologies, do shout in the comments below if you feel like you want me to cover this in more depth, and we'll do a video all on its own, because this app actually has a whole bunch of features that you might actually find really helpful. We have the standard, slow motion, time-lapse, and motion time-lapse. I want to touch on this really quickly because it's a really cool feature. If you go into motion time-lapse, what this allows you to do is set a point you want to start and then move the gimbal to a point you want it to stop and start, and it'll just create a time-lapse based on those credentials. It makes it really cool. You'll see at the beginning of the video that I did with my son that there is a nice time-lapse, and that was created using that. On the right hand side you have the home button that takes you straight back to the main menu where you connect your gimbal. Then we have options here for the theme mode. Remember I was telling you, you can get it to move quicker or slower, and then you can, so it's on walk or sport, so that will react a little bit quicker. And then obviously in the settings menu you have the camera, which allows you to set the panoramic quality, the video resolution, apologies if I can spit my words, and gimbal itself, manual calibration, how fast it tilts, mobile check, etc. And sorry, just one more thing. Also, for those of you that are well into your Facebook Live and all that stuff, you can do it straight off the app itself. Last and not least, we do have an option here which is called face tracking, which is the option here on the bottom. I'm sure if you've been looking into purchasing one of these, you've seen people demonstrating this loads of times. I have used it on the video that we're going to show you at the end of this. It basically tracks you just like an item, but it can, as long as you stay within the screen itself, you'll be fine, but if you move out of that, you'll lose you. So it's a hit and miss. It works well, but not amazing. And that kind of wraps up the app. So now that we've covered all the nice stuff, well, most of the nice stuff, I want to go on about the stuff that has really annoyed me about this. I was very excited about it when I unboxed it. I can't stress enough how well built this is. However, at £289, which is the list price at Apple, this is far from cheap, far from an affordable bit of kit for someone. And what you got to bear in mind is you're going to be using this with your smartphone, which is the best part, £500–600. This quickly becomes £1,000 worth of kit, so it's not great. And the reason why I'm picking up a lot on the price is because what you got to bear in mind is if you're going to charge £300, there's a few things I'd expect. One, it comes with this, it doesn't come with any base. So automatically you're going to have to go to the website and purchase one of these, a little base, so that you can actually mount the actual gimbal itself upright. If you want to be doing any selfie recording, etc., you're going to need to go and purchase a selfie stick, which consequently comes along with a stand of itself. Each one of those bits about, I think the selfie stick is about £49.99. The actual stand for it at the bottom is another 40 odd pounds. This stand itself, luckily it was about £7, so it wasn't too bad. And I think the DJI should have bundled that for free. The other thing that I really didn't like, and I'm going to present to you actually why this is the problem. So I now need to mount this. Right, great, because I need to put this down. And you notice earlier on the video I mentioned about how it has a port that the iPhone doesn't, which is great, you know, the 3.5mm jack. This is, in my opinion, silly, because that port on the previous version of this was actually a microphone port for external audio. So DJI, listen to me. You give me a gimbal, I can now record amazing smooth footage, but smooth footage is nothing without great audio. So please bring back a way for me to put an external microphone, because mobiles still don't record very good audio. So the other thing you got to do is charge. Luckily the thing lasts for 4 hours, which is good. Takes about 2 and a bit hours to fully charge. But they give you one of these. Now, if you've seen one of my videos before, the GoPro video, you notice how this really bothers me. The fact that they give you a USB charger, but they actually don't give you a USB brick for you to charge off the outlet on the wall. So again, it's £16 that they're selling a wall charger on their own website, DJI is. So why didn't you bundle one of those with this? It's not a cheap device. So having said all of that, I want to say one more thing. Most people that are going to be using this are going to be using the best smartphone, or the 2 best smartphones, to record video. One of them is an iPhone 7 Plus, which has a dual camera, and you may or may not notice in the footage there's a lot of wobbles, and this is because the onboard image stabilization is fighting with the gimbal. Hopefully between DJI and also Apple, they can find a fix for that. If you haven't noticed it, great, that's awesome. The other thing I noticed is it's the size. It's almost as if they didn't really use an iPhone 7 in mind when they were designing the gimbal, because it just about fits, it just about balances. And I'm really disappointed they haven't considered external audio, because if I wanted to now add the lightning adapter to it, I can't move the phone far enough and the gimbal balancing it to add that. So, having said all of that, let's move on to the conclusion. So to wrap it all up, do I think you should buy one of these? Well, as long as you go into it with an open mind, because it's not a cheap device. I do feel you are not getting everything that you could for your money. But if you are doing YouTube, or you're just very, filmmaking is a hobby that you take very closely, and you want to make it professional perhaps even, then this is going to improve it categorically. There's no shadow of a doubt. I believe even professional filmmaking is taking these into their repertoire of equipment to improve on filmmaking. So bear that in mind, and if you're still happy with that and all the points that I've mentioned before, then yes, you should indeed buy one. But for now, have a look at the video that I've put together with my son. This is just to show you what you can do as an amateur with this. I'm sure if you're a professional, you can get far better results. Just a quick reminder, some of this footage was recorded on a third-party app which you can purchase from the App Store called Filmic Pro. What that allows us to do is actually control exposure, focus range, where the inbuilt app doesn't. So hope you enjoy it. As if you do, please do subscribe, share, like, hit that like button as hard as you can. Don't hit it twice, because if you hit it once you like and then hit it again, you don't like it. So just hit it once, but hit it hard. Share it with your friends. You never know, someone in there might actually like this kind of stuff. And I'll see you again soon.